Hello and welcome to the Lovetarian Way show. I'm so happy that you are gathering here for the 5th episode of the show. It is my joy and privilege to be of service to all of you beautiful souls. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, please allow me to explain a little bit what the Lovetarian Way show is all about. So, first of all, I need to travel a little bit back in time, more or less to 2009. That was the time when I received my first insights, my first visions from spirit. And at this moment in time, I will ask our lovely Richard to show the first picture just with me, because this represents a vision that I received in 2009. Richard, is it on? Yes, it is on. Yes, so you can see here, when I was in a very deep meditative state, I actually did this meditation with friends and my parents. We did it in a little group. And then I was just floating in a sea of beautiful light. And I imagined myself over green fields, and the light was coming from above. And this light was like a pyramid. It was coming onto me through my crown chakra, through me all the way into Mother Earth, you know? So it was like a pillar of light. Mind you, in 2009, I had absolutely no idea what that meant. It was like a vision of something. Then I heard a voice: when you are in balance, we shower you with infinite abundance. So 13 years ago now, this is what I heard and this is what I saw. And then later I understood that the pyramids represented my connection with my higher self, with spirit world, in my body temple. So this was this trinity that we all are. And then, of course, the balance. They talked to me about balance between everything: mind, body, spirit, heaven and earth. And for me to be that channel of my higher self, of the source, to bring beauty into the world. And that is the legacy of love and light that is flowing through me. And later on, actually, what was it? 2020. So yeah, just 2 years ago, I received the name, the Lovetarian Way. So I was actually building this beautiful legacy for the last 13 years. I went online about 11 years ago. So imagine, this is 11 years of me doing this right now. It is actually fabulous, because right now I'm in the midst of creating the whole new look for this beautiful consciousness that I'm bringing into the world. You will be soon seeing the logo behind me will be updated. The Lovetarian Way hub will be updated. So you will be able to see this beautiful show, the Lovetarian Way podcast, all the offerings that I have been offering for the last 11 years. You'll be able to see it all on the hub. So this is just happening. So I'm very excited, like, you know, Duracell rabbit, literally, and just working so much. So I'm so grateful to Richard. Richard, thank you so much that you caught me when you caught me, asked me to come and have a show here, because if it happened later, no way, not possible. So it was just exact perfect timing for the Lovetarian Way to come to Spiritual Psychics TV. So thank you. I know, Richard, you regret every moment. However, we are here co-creating more beauty. So now, Richard, could you show this other picture with the higher self? Because later I also understood, as those insights were coming for the last decade, I understood that I had to put myself, you see my picture on the original one, and then there is the higher self that represents also you, coming into you. When I'm teaching the workshop, I'm telling people to put themselves in the middle of this vision, because you are the channel through which your higher self, the beauty, the light, the soul plays its music. It's through you, okay? You are the source of your experience. You are to go on this beautiful inner journey on the Lovetarian Way, into the wisdom, into the light of your higher self. And in fact, when you allow your higher self to guide you every single day, because you are your higher self, pretty much, as you can see from this vision. So it's you, and then the light is coming through you to express itself through you. So it's not some being out there, it is you. You are a part of this expression. So once you go on this journey with the Lovetarian way, once you embody the light of your higher self, universe will shower you with infinite abundance, because you are abundance. You are love. You are light. You are everything. You are not separated from anything. I said it numerous times in previous episodes that actually pillars that I received from my higher self, the 4 pillars of the Lovetarian way, they are informing and guiding us to the oneness of everything. We are one with Richard, with Taryn, with you. We are one. We are one, connected to this beautiful energy of source creatrix of all life. I call her mother. Some people call it God, consciousness, universe, whatever word resonates with you. It doesn't matter. The name is not important. It is this quantum soup of love, unconditional love, that expresses itself through you as our individual higher selves. And we are also beautiful and unique and different, and we can create the most amazing heaven on earth if we choose to. So the Lovetarian way actually is another consciousness that is coming into the world at this beautiful moment in time, at the dawning of the what we call with Taron golden age of miracles. At this moment in time, we're bringing our offerings into the world to assist every single soul that would love to embody the light of their higher self, the light of their soul, and live the Lovetarian way, which is basically fabulous heaven on earth, bliss every single day, and transcendence of suffering. And the topic of today's talk is just that. We're going to dive into Akashic Records with Taryn so that we can assist you in healing and liberating yourself from all suffering. And I mean, not a little bit, like all of it, if you choose to. So before I introduce my beautiful guest, let me just refresh for those of you who don't remember what the pillars of the Lovetarian way are. So pillar 1 guides us to accept 100% responsibility for our life. And what responsibility for what? For the energies that we exude and energies we take in, because everything, beautiful audience, is energy. The thoughts, the feelings, the words, actions, everything, this, that, everything is energy that vibrates in this beautiful quantum soup at certain frequency. And of course, what vibrates with love is much higher than what vibrates with fear. So accept 100% responsibility for all the energies you exude out into the world and those that you take in. So that's pillar 1. Because once you accept that responsibility, my God, you are becoming so powerful. You're literally in union, you're cooperating and you're co-creating in union with your higher self. If you choose love, of course. Because if you choose fear, you will be living under the delusion of separation, but you never separated. It's the ego, which is also a part of you. It was given to us, you know, the free will was given to us, and then ego went cuckoo a little bit, and it deluded us into believing that we are separated from our higher selves. But why not? We never separated. We just occasionally have a little amnesia here and there when we drop our frequency, and then we start acting like little monkeys running around, all lost, fighting with each other, you know, thinking that we maybe there's war out there and there's poverty and all those things that actually are very illusionary. As Einstein said it, reality is an illusion, albeit a very persistent one, but we can awaken. We can awaken from this illusion and we can experience heaven on earth. And it is, of course, a vibrational frequency of the Lovetarian way, love and light, co-creation in union with your higher self. So that's pillar 1. Then pillar 2 reminds us about this oneness, that I am one with you, you are one with me, we are one with the source. We are connected through this quantum soup. So embrace the golden rule, treat others the way you want to be treated, because when I'm looking at you, I'm seeing the mirror image of myself and the other way around. So I just generally do not want to be an asshole. I hope I can say that, you know. So just be love and light. I said it. Oops. So, but yes, I choose not to be one. Okay. And be mindful. Yeah. My internet is causing issues. I think you're living under the illusion. It must be the rain. Well, we need to do what we need to do. What can we do? Do you want me to go to? Yeah. In case if something is off, I can always jump on 4G. Just let me know, Richard, right? Thank you for that. So then, and pillar 3 is to live as though everything is a miracle. So as Richard just told me, something is off with the internet. Well, that's a miracle too. And I'm so happy I have a phone with 5G, so I can do that too. So how fantastic, right? So seriously, every challenge is an opportunity. So live as though everything is a miracle. And I encourage you to watch the previous episodes of the Lovetarian Way podcast, not podcast, the show, because we actually spoke about those pillars with previous guests. And then it leads me to pillar 4, embrace the Lovetarian nourishment. Primary form of nourishment is water, breath, loving thoughts, loving emotions, really truly embracing those beautiful, beautiful energies so that you can nourish your mind, your body, and your spirit. So that's it in essence. And now I have invited a beautiful friend of mine, a sister in the mystery school with the Sophia Code, soul sister of mine, expert on Akashic Records, author, mentor, divine feminine way shower, beautiful soul from South Africa, Taryn van der Merwe. Welcome, Taryn. Are you coming? Taryn, 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 calling Taryn. I don't know if she can hear us.
Thank you, Natalie.
Oh, there you are. Taryn, please tell us a little bit about your journey on the Lovetarian Way. Tell us how it all began for you.
Yes. Sorry, could you repeat that, Natalia?
Oh, we are having transmission issues, it seems like. Could you tell us a little bit about your journey, Taryn, how it all began for you?
It's interesting because, thank you. My journey is quite similar to yours. I also started my spiritual awakening, like diving deep into it. I think it's always been there, like you, growing up. And then in 2009, I became a mom, and I realized that the old patterns, the old ancestral, patriarchal, parental programs that I was really deeply entrenched in wasn't going to serve me or my newborn baby. And I started to dive deep into my spiritual journey. And then 2019, that's when I just up-leveled. That's when the Sophia Code, as a soul sister you are a part of, entered my life. And my life completely up-leveled, did a complete 360. And I now get to be in the mystery school under the Sophia Code, as well as diving deep into the Akashic Records. So the Akashic Records really was just a homecoming. As soon as I entered into the Akashic Records for the first time, I was home. And I realized that I had been in the records my entire life. I just didn't have the 3D language for something that I was constantly attuning into.
Beautiful, thank you. Richard, do we have any viewers that we would like to say hello to? Let's have a look who is with us today. Let's see. Hello, Wendy. Where are you from? Tell us where you're from. I am in Spain. Taryn is in South Africa. Where are you from, guys? Hello, Kerry. Nice to connect with you, goddesses. Raina Bella, how beautiful. Love all the butterflies. Kaylee. Nice international crowd we have. Hello, Catherine. First time. Hello, nice to have you here. Sarah, good afternoon. Rebecca. Oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Tell us where you're from. Ellison, hello. I believe I've seen you before. Nice to see you again. Hello, Krish. Good evening. Lisa, UK, Newcastle. Welcome, Newcastle. Oh, Joanna Lewis, hi. I've seen you before. Nice to have you back. Caroline, South Africa. Awesome. We're in South Africa. Kerry, Massachusetts. Oh, lovely. Nice international crowd. Do we have any boys with us today, or is it just divine feminine beauty? Lillian from Glasgow. Hello, Glasgow. Okay. Natalie from Essex. Hello. Kerry from Essex. Norma. Hello, Jill. Hello, Tina. Hello, Wendy. Hello, Trish. Hello, Jill. Lots of Jills. Hello, Catherine. Hello, Shona. Hello, Carrie. Mina from London. Hello. Oh, Kentucky. Wow, awesome. Another American, Tina. Where from? Rebecca from Portsmouth. I hear it's a house of spiritual psychics. Oh, Holland. Goeiedag. Ella, who from Spain? I am on the Costa Blanca. I'm in Altea, beautiful white town of Altea, which actually means I heal. Imagine that. Of course, I was attracted to come here, right? Carolyn is Foxville, south of Joburg. Cool. Nice. Surrey, Christine from Surrey. Beautiful. Cary Grant was from Surrey. Here. All right, great, great, great. So then, beautiful ladies, I have not seen a dude yet. So ask your questions. We're going to be chatting about Akashic Records and how diving into those can really alleviate suffering and how we can truly liberate ourselves from suffering. So, beautiful guest of mine, expert, you, Taryn, please tell us what is your take on playing with Akashic Records and why is it beneficial for us to go into Akashic Records to actually liberate ourselves from suffering? Why?
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 For me, why? I truly believe it's one of the most dynamic tools we have access to, and I truly believe that every single person should be accessing their own truth of their own soul. So your Akashic Records is basically your book of life. I like to look at it as an ancient library. And you've just got these books upon books with every experience that you have ever lived, and that gets recorded in this ancient library. So it connects us to all the themes and the patterns, and it really just holds the truth. It holds the wisdom of your soul. And that's why I truly believe, like, this should be a topic. This should be a subject at school. Teenagers should be learning to read their records. Obviously, we only really like to go into records once you're 18, because there is a fair amount of maturity that one has to have when they're in the records. But basically, you tap into the wisdom of your soul. And my root cause of suffering that I may be addicted or attached to will be very different to yours.
Yes.
And although we have these beautiful downloads that have become like a generic blueprint that would say, okay, well, if you're experiencing this, it's because of that, and this is the mantra or the affirmation to get through that. Everyone is so unique, and everyone's blueprint is so unique. So if I have an idea that my suffering is attached to something, when we go into our records, we actually find out the root origin, which will maybe completely different to what the norm has been spoken of in this industry. And you know, Natalia, that we all have growth points. So we have come, as you've spoken in your other series, is we've come with an understanding of what we're going to experience, how we're going to experience. But where we have free will, we choose how long we experience certain emotions and feelings for. So you said in your last series when you spoke about the forgiveness, which is such, I just love that you did the forgiveness the last time we were doing the suffering this time, because the two go hand in hand. And you said last time, like, how long are you going to allow yourself to suffer?
Yes.
And that's the difference. We all have growth points. Those are not, we're not going to not have those. But how long are we going to suffer, or how much long are we going to take to get through that? That's where we now determine, are we going to suffer through that growth point, or we're going to see that growth point for exactly what it is, a teaching, learning, experiencing moment where we get to gather more references, more wisdom, more truth, more understanding.
Beautiful, beautiful. And Taryn, I'm going to give you a big shout out, because I had a privilege of working with you, and you took me into my Akashic Records. And remember when I connected with you, it was several months ago, I believe, right? Yeah, something like that, time and space. Yeah, but it was a while ago, and I was in a dark place. I did not feel, as I said at the beginning, sometimes our ego creates an illusion of separation. So I was swimming in the darkness. I believe it was like beginning of the year, something like that. And then we spoke, and you went into my records, and you saw me as this monk. I was a monk that was actually punishing himself for something. So I saw this like Opus Dei monk that was whipping himself and punishing himself, for the whatever. And by being able to see that and imagine that, I was able to, after our talk, I took time with Ascended Master Green Tara and Kuan Yin and my higher self, and I was able to use Ho'oponopono process, which I talk about many times in previous episodes. I was able to use EFT tapping. I was able to just go through deep breathing processes. And I released this part of my consciousness. I released this brother, as I call him, this monk. I set him free. I said, I love you, brother. I love you so much. Thank you. We no longer need to suffer. You are free. I claim more of myself today. I set you free for transmutation into love and light. And I swear to you, Tarin, it was like a ton of bricks fell off my chest, and I literally felt emotions in my body releasing from my chest. Because, by the way, when we met, I told you I had such pains in my chest. So I was guided by my higher self to do tapping, chest tapping, Chinese acupuncture. A Green Tara guided me, Ascended Master Green Tara, which is considered mother of all Buddhas. She guided me to do tapping with acupressure, sorry. And then I was doing Sanskrit chanting and Kundalini yoga, all the body work. And within a month or so, I felt like 85% of the pain that I had in my heart chakra, on my back, it was gone. So I am the evidence how powerful this can work when we have something that we just cannot pinpoint. So thank you. That was amazing. Yeah.
Thank you. It's such an honor and privilege to read somebody's truth, somebody's wisdom. I really do hold it in such a high sacred, privilege. So thank you for that allowance. And I'm so glad you touched on the word punishment, because that is what I've been shown lately, is that a lot of our root origin and root causes of our staying stuck in suffering is that we have chosen to punish ourselves. Like, we have come with an energy of retribution. I know, if I may just explain, I have a very similar story to you, and that my son, I actually murdered my son in a previous life.
Wow. Okay.
And not going to go into the details, but it was a very emotional, act. And only once I had done it did I realize the enormity of what I had created. And I was a young boy at the time, and he was my sister. And I actually decided that I didn't want to, I didn't want to commit suicide. I wanted to live a long life. I wanted to suffer. I wanted to pay penance for what I had created. And I've brought that into this lifetime. So karma is so beautiful when we see that I took his life in that lifetime. He was a girl in that lifetime, and he was my sister, of all things. And in this lifetime, I've created karma in the sense that I gave him life. So karma doesn't always have to be that eye for an eye. It could be that completion of a healing. And I've been shown he's forgiven me. The biggest thing that I had to do, and that I'm still doing, is forgive myself. And I've come with an energy to be punished, to suffer, because why should I be let off? And I'm seeing a lot of clients holding on to this retribution energy, that they've actually chosen experiences to prove to themselves that they're paying penance for something that they've done in other experiences. And once we can release that and let that go and actually forgive ourselves, we can release that attachment to suffer, that addiction to suffer.
Beautiful. Thank you so much. Taryn, here we have Kerry sharing with us her experience. She says, mine has to have something to do with the opposite of loss, because that's all I've experienced in this life. Team of my life. Kerry, thank you for sharing. If you'd like to elaborate a little bit more, if you have any questions, please do share with us. Taryn, that was beautiful share. Do you, from all those travels, Kerry, my records, what do they look like? What's my, well, I think that's a longer conversation. I can't access. So would you like to elaborate on that, Taryn?
Records are just, they're so unique. I actually, if I tap into Kerry just momentarily, it's almost like your records represent a crystal bowl. Like, there's so much clarity in your records. And there's so much light, and it's almost, when a crystal bowl has little, like, you see rainbows and facets.
Oh, you see?
Like that's because that's what our records do. They bring us clarity, they bring us truth, they bring us wisdom, and truth sets us free.
Yes.
We can, and we only go as fast as the slowest parts of us can go, and that's okay. So it's interesting, because sometimes we want to know more than what we're actually ready to know. And what I'm seeing a lot in the records is that we don't necessarily need to know the stories. So I'm seeing more and more that the stories aren't being brought to the forefront, all those past life sort of attachments, because we can get hooked into that story, and then we live that out in our minds constantly. So your records are actually held very protectively by what we call record keepers. And they're the ones that actually give me the messages of what is happening in your records. And what I'm finding more and more of is that the record keepers aren't even sharing the stories anymore, because we don't need to know the details. Sometimes it's beneficial, And other times, if we're not truly ready to hear the story, it will actually spin us more into the attachment and addiction to suffer. So they will just go, are you ready to clear this? And we can effortlessly clear. Now, this is also, if I may just, expand on that, is, as you know, part of the mystery school, we learn that humanity is addicted to suffer. And even while we're letting go of the attachment and the addiction to suffer, we still need to suffer. So the old paradigm, even in the spiritual realms of healing, was we had to feel it. Like truly, like I know a decade ago when I was doing deep dive healing, like I would be wiped out for 3 weeks. And I rejoiced in that. It was like, yes, that was powerful. I just wiped myself out through that healing. And I know there's that beautiful saying that you need to feel it to heal it.
Yeah.
I want to expand on that and ask us to explore there's all facets of feelings. We don't necessarily have to attach feeling to being bad, heavy, or painful. What if we could heal through the lighter feeling? And like the record keepers have a sense of humor. Like there's times where we're clearing dense, heavy trauma from the body, and you and I are laughing. We are light through it. So there's also that spiritual teaching that we can also let go of. That feeling to heal doesn't necessarily mean it needs to be painful. That it can be, and it can actually be joyful. And I believe that's where we're heading to. When we can dive deeper and deeper into that unconditional love that you speak of, the oneness, the Lovetarian way, basically, we get to heal and joy.
Thank you, Taryn and Kerry. Kerry, you know what? What came to me now is the books by Dr. Brian Weiss, and also Robert Schwartz, whom I actually interviewed him. How many years ago has that been? For one of my first programs, Abundance Academy, I spoke to Robert. He wrote 3 best-selling books. I encourage you to get them. They're amazing. They are called My Soul's Plan, My Soul's Gift, and My Soul's Love. And I did past life regression with Robert, actually. And, looking at Dr. Brian Weiss' work, looking at Robert Schwartz's work, looking at Jill Harrison's work, Jill was in previous episodes. And when I just now collect all the knowledge and now combine it with what you said here, Taryn, what really comes very strongly from my higher self is that we are really guided not to just jump into those records for fun or just because we're curious, because I believe that our job is to clean and clear in the now and alleviate the suffering now. You are living here now. You have chosen to have an experience now. And I do understand that, as I for myself, there are sometimes very persistent long-term situations where we just don't know where this is coming from. But here is the thing. It's our job is not to know why. It's not about nitty-gritty. It's not about just curiosity. It's not about satisfying our ego that will keep us going and searching and getting lost in the madness of the mind. The trust and faith and living in the now, it is so profound. Wouldn't you agree, Taryn?
Oh, absolutely. Permanence of what we're healing through can only happen when we're fully present. And it's one of the exercises I do in the records, is that we want to bring all of our parts. Your previous guest, Claire, was speaking about those lost facets of us. We want to bring them back into the now. Doesn't matter if they're in the past, the future, they ascended, they disassociated, because true permanence for what we're shifting through can only happen when we are fully present, fully embodied, fully grounded in this human experience. I've healed traumas, just like I know you mentioned Kare the last time as well. I've healed traumas that I should be so triggered by now, but because I healed it in my records multidimensionally, fully present. It's almost like that's a different lifetime, even though it was this lifetime. So I retain the wisdom of that, and I retain the reference of that, the knowing of that, but I don't hold on to the cellular memory of that, the cellular trauma of that. And I can speak of that experience as a young girl from a beautiful, non-attached space, because she has received all the healing that she needs, and it's as if that event never happened.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely beautiful. And actually, this brings me to, again, I will not get tired of repeating how powerful the healing mantra of Ho'oponopono is, because this actually guides us into this acceptance that you trust that those words, the mantra, has the power, and it will reach whatever it needs to reach through time and space. When you trust, when you take 100% responsibility, when you say, yes, I'm willing to forgive myself, I'm willing to forgive through time and space, whatever it was, whenever it was, I don't need to know. I'm willing to accept that. I will be humble to accept this, and I will trust the innocent, forever innocent part of myself to just take this petition, this mantra of Ho'oponopono, into the hands of divine, if you will, and the job will be done for me. And then you just let go. So let go, let God, let divine do the work, and you get on with your life. So I remind you of this mantra. It's just 4 sentences. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Thank you. I love you. And honestly, if you do it with an open heart, with full awareness and 100% responsibility in this now present moment, with breathing, wow, I can tell you about examples upon examples of healing in my life. I mean, I can't even, it would be like 10 hours of a show. But isn't it so, Taryn?
Oh, absolutely. I use the Ho'oponopono so often. It often appears, especially when we've had abuses and atrocities, which we've all experienced. But even just to have if you had to imagine yourself, and we can even just do a little journey now, if you've got time and space, is if we had to just imagine ourselves on a big stage, like in a big auditorium, and we invite all the aspects of ourselves throughout time and space, past, present, and future, every experience that we have lived, and they're sitting in this huge auditorium. We might even need a stadium that can seat 70,000 people. And if we could just say that mantra to ourselves, it's so healing, so powerful. I did it this weekend to my son. He's a teenager now. He's an official teenager. And he was having some really hard feelings about life. And he really didn't think I was listening to him. And I just sat next to him and I did the Ho'oponopono prayer, but in stages. I'm like, I'm sorry. And I actually just said to him all the things I was sorry about, that he's experiencing, that he's going through. I asked him to please forgive me. And I said all the things that I'm asking him for forgiveness. I thanked him for all the things that I can see he's doing, that he's trying through, and that I love him. So I actually also used it as therapy in my relationships, because he then got to hear that I've heard him, I've seen where he struggles, and he didn't know I was doing the Ho'oponopono. I just did it in a very stretched out way. But it's amazing. It's so powerful, that mantra.
It is. It's beautiful. Thank you, Taryn. We have some questions. Tina asks, what's the best way to tap into our Akashic Records? Would you like to address that?
There's a lot of content out there. So I know on YouTube there's a lot of, how to tap into Akashic Records. For me, I did go through sort of a formalized training, and I'm grateful for that. I've now actually become a teacher, although I don't really, I'm more of a guide. So I guide people into their records, just in a very comprehensive way. So I do believe that we can access our records, but how we get to read our records and how we get to really understand the potentials of all the healing possibilities within the records, that's dependent on diving into deeper training modules, support. But there is a lot of content on YouTube. I haven't heard of much. Yeah, it's interesting because you can do it, and some people have been successful doing it that way. I just know for myself that I like to really understand and master a system, and for me, I actually did a mastery certification in the Akashic Records, because I really wanted to understand all the different facets that can be held within your records, and then share that with others and guide others to access that themselves. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you. Richard, have you seen I put in the chat the name of Robert, the author. Have you seen it? What's the last name of Robert, the author? I don't know who's asking that question. Is it you? Okay, Norma, yes, it is Robert Schwartz. Robert Schwartz, and the books are Your Soul's Plan, Your Soul's Gift, Your Soul's Love. I will invite Robert to come in a few months. Obviously, he is like super busy, but it will happen. If Richard holds on with me for a year or so, we'll get him here. He says definitely not. Well, the people petition for this. So Taron, would you like to please, if you have questions, just ask them, beautiful audience. Taron, would you like to tell us about your beautiful book, the one you co-authored? Joanne will take your question in a second.
So yes, I had the absolute honor of, this life is about remembrance. Yeah. And you and I, Natalia, it's just our souls remembering each other and being supportive with, alongside each other. I do believe that we are like wildflowers. We can blossom and bloom in love and grace on the wildflower fields. And so I met a divinely appointed soul sister that has a publishing company, and then I got offered this opportunity to be a co-author in Wholehearted Leaders. And we do something in the records called future life progression. So, we hear about past life regression. Well, we do future life progressions, not regressions, progressions. And I was shown in 2020 that there would be a book, and it would be about the heart. And August last year, I had absolutely no idea of how this book was going to materialize, because really we're like 9 months into the year. And I've got no content for a book. And then November came, and this opportunity literally landed in my lap. And also what I was shown in my records the year before, that this would happen in 2022. And I even put on my vision board, published author. And this opportunity landed, and the launch date was the 31st of December, 2021. So I would go into the new year, into 2022, as a published author. And it was all about the heart. So that was just astounding for me to know that I was shown exactly. I just didn't have the right idea. I thought it was me going to really just author, an entire book on my own. And so Wholehearted Leaders is just living authentically and leading authentically from the heart, which I know you do, Natalia, and it's what we all been called to do. We've been, that higher self living is literally being in that holy communion with your heart 24 hours a day. Like my higher self she's just a freaking rock star. I give a shout out to her as often as I can, because she is just phenomenal. She ensures that I'm at the right place at the right time. I'm having the most wonderful experiences, and even those that I have all my feelings about, she's right there, guiding me through it. But it really is, it's just a story. I really felt for most of my life that I didn't have a gift. Like mentally, I knew that we all have gifts, but I didn't think I had a gift, and I seeked and I searched and I did every qualification under the sun trying to obtain this gift. And it took my trip to Sedona in America in 2019 for me to realize that the gift has always been within me. It's so natural that it's nothing outside of myself. And that's when I started really leaning into that. So the book is, my chapters is really about that little journey when I actually discovered that it's always been within me, that which I was seeking for decades.
All that you need is within you now. That is such a powerful message, right? And just all we need to do is tap into our truth and just dare to live it.
Absolutely.
Beautiful, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Taryn. And let's take a question from Joanne. She says, I've been able, I suppose, to see the records, but unable to read them, blank pages. Is there a reason for this?
There could be multiple reasons. And again, I really caution myself. Often I want to like dive in and go, oh, it's this, or oh, it's that. And I've cautioned myself to kind of not do that anymore, because there could be an infinite amount of reasons why you're experiencing blank pages in your records. And truly it's to ask the questions. What do these blank pages mean? I could interpret that as being a blank canvas, like you literally get to write, you know, the story that you want to live. It could mean that you're not ready to see the writing that is, you know, that's there. There needs to be a different light. Like, you know, if you've got writing and you put a UV, those special pens. So there could be infinite reasons why there's blank pages in your records. And I would just be curious when you are in your records and just ask the questions. What does this mean? Are there blocks that I'm not ready to see? Is there a new perspective that I've been asked to look at? Is this a blank canvas that I can literally create what I desire? Isn't that exciting?
Oh, beautiful. Thank you for sharing, Taryn. And you know, this actually brings me to pillar 1 of the Lovetarian Way, accepting 100% responsibility for your life. And what this also means is what meaning you give to any experience, because you are the creator of your life's experience. Are you empowering yourself by your meaning, by your words, by your thoughts, by your feelings? Or are you maybe replaying old records and superimposing the meaning that has been imprinted on you by society, by parents, whatever? Remember that the power is in the now present moment, and it doesn't matter what has happened. It doesn't matter what you suffered. It doesn't matter. You can always just say, hold on. I take 100% responsibility for my life now. New words, new thoughts, new feelings, new everything. Clean slate, 0-point calibration. This is what it's going to mean for me now. And I'm going to align my thoughts, my feelings, my actions with it. What do you say about that, Taryn?
Are you in my records? Oh, we do like, it's exactly what you're saying. Really clearing that slate, like parental programming, societal, subliminal, systemic, the list goes on. There's vows, the oaths. We really want to, like you say, clear the slate, clear multidimensionally, and really just create from this now 0-point field, which is all about the heart calibration, really calibrating to the language of our soul, which comes from being embodied, and it comes from connection in the heart. So we receive from above, we receive from below, and we connect that within. So I always say, as above, so below, for within. And that's the place that we get to co-create the story that we want to live. The voice of the heart really attunes us into the desires that our heart is seeking us to experience. And they're far beyond what we could ever hoped, imagined, dreamed for ourselves.
Amen, sister. 100% there with you. Swimming in the field of possibilities. Okay,
Infinite.
Beth. Yeah, that's right. Beth, I've seen the records, but can't read them. More a feeling. Well, then, awesome. Taryn?
Yes. So we will usually read a record in our most prominent clair. So, you know, we've got clairvoyance, which is the seeing, the vision. And society has placed a lot of preference onto clairvoyance. And we kind of like, we downplay the other clairs, but they are so powerful. You've got clairaudience, where you actually hear voices, different accents. You get claircognizance, that knowing, and then clairsentience, which is the feeling. You even get the clair of the nose, which is smelling. I never know the actual name of it. And I've actually smelt smells before in the records. So we will often read the records in our most powerful clair. And it's not to be attached to a clair that we've given preference on. So society, like I say, has given so much preference to clairvoyance. And if we're not seeing it, we sometimes battle to trust it. But if we can lean more and more into, if it's a feeling, to go with that, to trust that. If it's a knowing, which is one of the most powerful, they're all powerful, but it's also the one that we have been taught through our childhood. It's like your parents know better, your teacher knows better. And we're kind of like, if we got a clear cognizance that is very strong, that inner knowing, we have to remember the power of it, because we've been programmed to actually not listen to it and to take everyone else's knowing as more important than our own. So I would just encourage the listener to dive, just lean into the clair that's coming through, and just explore it from that space, and not feel like you have to see it.
And trust yourself. Beautiful.
Yes.
Trust yourself. Yes. The intuition is the tuition from within, right?
Absolutely.
Really, we are here, Taryn, myself, all the people we're inviting, all the psychics, all the beautiful people that are reading, all sorts of things. Ultimately, there's no outside guru. Your guru is your higher self. You are your own guru. We're just guides, just fellow travelers. Absolutely. On this quantum inner journey, right?
And that's why I chose to be a teacher. And like I said, I don't particularly like the word teacher, because I'm guiding you back to your own wisdom, your own remembrance. And that's why when I had the opportunity to learn how to teach reading the records, it was an absolute yes from me, because I want everyone empowered to read their own records. Everyone should be reading their own records. You should be going to access your truth. We're in an absolute, Richard will forgive me for saying shit show. We're in that right now, and everyone has their own truth, their own opinion about what's happening in the world. But when we can go into our own records and we can find out what the truth is for ourselves, like for me, there is no better empowerment that we can give ourselves to actually read and access our own records. And that's why I say, I wish our young adults were being taught this as a subject, whether it be in high school or college, university, because we should all be reading the wisdom and the truth of our soul.
Yeah, no, beautiful. I know one of the mottos, aspirations of the Lovetarian Way movement is to propagate this beautiful maxim. You give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. Teach a man how to fish a fish, and you will feed them for a lifetime. Knowledge is power, but it's only applied knowledge. People must remember that you can read. I know a lot of people, my clients, whatever, they can read thousands and thousands of books. They read them, 10 books at the same time, and their minds are going like this. And I know it because I was my academic myself for so long. So what? You can read millions of books. It doesn't really matter. You need to live it. You need to embody it. You need to, feet on the ground, as Kaya says, right, in the mystery school. Boots on the ground, baby. Embody. Tap into your feelings, right? So, yeah, I'm on the roll here. Phoenix has a question. I remember Phoenix, silver shadow, beautiful. Is that the cat? Can the records appear in another form other than books, like data or energy?
Absolutely. I've got one client that when she enters her records, it's like a snow globe, and she actually gets cold. That's how her consciousness shares with her that she's in her records. So, you know, it's just that space, that familiarity of being home. And home is where the heart is, and the heart of our home is within. And we all have, just like we had different tastes in this lifetime of what our home should or could look like, the same as our records. For me, I was shown that it's like an ancient library. So your records will be something unique to you. And like you say, you could see symbols, you could receive downloads. It really is how you've chosen to communicate, what language you've chosen to communicate with the light of your soul. And it doesn't have to be in the language that I'm speaking. We've just all we've done when we learn the records is we learn the 3D language. So then we have a reference to speak it. Because when we're dealing with frequencies and energies, it's very different to actually, you know, explain that. So the records is just a 3D language in which we can then explain what it is that we are tapping into.
Beautiful. Actually, you know, thank you. Topic of today's discussion is liberation from all suffering. So if we could just, to end this, because we're coming on an hour now, this conversation, they're always so great, and the time just flies, huh? If we could just give maybe 3 tools when you've been collecting all this data, all the tools, all the advice, all the beautiful wisdom. So 3 tools to empower our viewers, the lessons from Akashic Records, how to liberate yourself from suffering.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's a reason why I have chosen my 2 core offerings to be the Sophia Code and the Akashic Records, because I do believe that they're so beautifully paired. And after decades of deep dives into other certifications, they all add to my toolkit. But the 2, the Sophia Code and the Akashic Records, are so beautifully matched. And I want to encourage us to really dive into Green Tara's mantra of Tari to Tari.
Look. Here, I have Green Tara mantra, Green Tara mala. I just have that here, so we're like tuned in.
So that alone, just the ture, so tare, tutare, ture, so ha. The ture part, as we say in the mantra, really allows us to remember our oneness, which is part of the Lovetarian Way. Yeah. And release our addiction and attachment to suffering. So I lean into that mantra. Like, I can be irritated. I'll be going to, you know, somewhere, and I'm supposed to be in my bliss and in my zen, and I'm human. So I'm having all my feelings, and I start mantraing. It really just brings calmness. It brings peace. So that would be one. The other one, which you speak of in the Lovetarian Way, is your breath. Really allowing your breath to come to bring you back into your body. It regulates the nervous system. We're all experiencing post-traumatic stress on some level. There's not one human being on this planet that isn't in some form of PTSD. Using our breath to bring calmness into the body. And then just know how freaking awesome your higher self is. He and she is your most powerful ally at these times. And it's that self-resourcing that, like, if we can just that recipe, right? You know, the safest place we can be is in our body. And that's why we've got these programs and these teachings that have made us leave our body. Mm-hmm. The safest place we can be in these times is in our physical body. Yet it's the first place we jump from. We disassociate, we time loop, we trying to ascend out the body, but true ascension happens in the body.
Mm-hmm. So that's 2 and 3.
Oh no, so the first one would be the mantra, the second one would be the breath, and the third one is really starting to have a beautiful embodied relationship with your higher self.
Okay. Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. So I'm going to add to that. I'm going to build on that, because all those things that you said are exactly the things that I'm practicing. And actually this pink moon, so we're just talking a few days ago, I had been dancing with green Tara in the middle of the night. I was awakened at 4 a.m. and I went into mad white witch dancing with green Tara. We were dancing with dakinis, and I was speaking that mantra in infinite amount of repetitions, Om Tare, Tu Tare, Ture Soha, and I was guided to start tapping on my body in different places where I had the pain. So I was breathing, breath of fire. If you're not familiar with breath of fire, it's very fast, rapid breaths, right? It's very fast, rapid breaths. They really increase your heart, the circulation, and you really go like total fire. So like, you know, on this holy fire, dancing, mantra, breath, tapping, it creates such a powerful vortex, transformative vortex, that I literally released whatever pain there was still in my heart chakra, on my back, and then also on my solar plexus, the seed of worry and anxiety through time and space. So she was telling me tap, tap, tap. So I was literally doing that, you know, and everywhere, wherever the body wanted me to. And by the way, peeps, it took like several hours. So I was exhausted. I said, my husband like, whoa, woman, I slept and I slept. And then during the day, I slept some more. So the body was so released, you know? So basically I embodied, you can say, yeah? So the breathing, embodiment, my higher self really guided me, and all the friends in light I showed you on that vision that Richard showed, where you and then you bring the light of your higher self that flows through you. You are grounding it on planet Earth, and then you are in balance, the balance between your mind, body, spirit. And then those pyramids that represent the connection with everything, they're also this infinite abundance, that which you are. And once you embody, I mean, you are everything. We must remember, right, Taryn, that we are abundance, we are health, we are prosperity, we are everything. I am that I am. You are that I am presence. So be very mindful also what you are speaking when you're liberating yourself from suffering. Do not say, I am stupid. No, you're not stupid, baby. You are powerful, amazing rock star. Whether you're a man or a woman, it doesn't matter. It's just like illusion at this moment in time. I want to be a chick and he wants to be a dude. At the end of the day, we are both. Right? You are everything.
Exactly.
Yeah, thank you, Phoenix. Thanks, Natalia. Good to see you again. Thanks, Taryn. Yes, thank you so much. I would like to know if Phoenix is a person or if it's a cat, because I love that kitten that rocks the guitar. It's just really cool. That's right.
Thank you, Richard.
All right, Richard, are there any more questions? Are there any more questions? Well then, Taryn, why don't you take thank you, Richard. Why don't you take the last few minutes and tell our viewers how they can contact you, how they can work with you?
Thank you, Natalia. That's a wonderful opportunity. So you are welcome to connect to me on Facebook under my full name, Taryn van der Merwe. I also have a Facebook page called Heart Sense Wildflower and Heart Sense Healing. My email address is Taryn, TARYN, @goldenwildflower.co.za.
Lovely, lovely. And the book can be bought in many different places, right? Amazon, etc.
Amazon, yes. So there is Kindle version, there's a hardcover, a paperback option, and it's just these wonderful stories of inspiration of other revolutionary leaders, literally guiding and leading through the heart. So thank you.
Fantastic. Well, thank you, Taryn, very much. When it comes to contacting Natalia, if you want more of Natalia's medicine and the Lovetarian Way, just go to Google. As I was saying, I'm just so excited, Taryn, because I'm now working in this beautiful holy fire through me with the new designs and everything, and I'm like, yeah, I need to put all the podcast episodes, like 40 episodes that I need to embed. And Richard, I'm going to put the show there too, so everybody's going to benefit. It's going to be like amazing because the views are going to count for it. So it's like, wow, amazing. Yeah. So I'm enthusiastic. Maybe you can tell.
I love it.
So,
we need more of that.
Yeah, but did you know, people, that to be inspired, to be elated, to be enthused, it's actually playing the voice of spirit, God, through you. That's actually the etymology of those words. It's in spiritus sanctus. Enthuse, the voice of God, the breath of God is expressing itself through you. Or call it, quantum energy, whatever. I don't care. I don't think that it doesn't care either, because it's not a dude with a beard. But here's the thing, I also know that if you believe that it is a dude with a beard, or if you believe it's a dude, that's what you're gonna see when you're gonna go, because consciousness creates, you create. So what do you create? What you're gonna create, right? So like, be very mindful how you're going to invest your energies and where your consciousness goes, because where focus goes, energy flows. So focus on heaven on earth. How about that, Taryn?
Amen. Amen.
That's right. Cool. Amen. So I don't know, Richard wanted to probably play some ads. I'm just gonna say, I'm gonna invite people in 2 weeks, because he only allows me to have one show per 2 weeks. Not that I have time for more, but okay, fine. Not gonna be complaining. I'm grateful. So in 2 weeks, we're going to have another one, and we're going to invite a beautiful friend of mine, dude, this time, Carmel Sastre. Carmel speaks like 7 languages, so we can speak Russian, German, Spanish, whatever you want. And he's an energy healer. We're going to talk about balancing chakras. So it's going to be very, very cool. Yep. So I'm done, I think. Richard, would you like to show some ads or no? I said my piece, yes. So I'm gonna say namaste, sisters and brothers. Join me in 2 weeks, and maybe you could join me also on the Lovetarian Way podcast, which is next week. I'm gonna have a cool dude as well from Galicia, and we're gonna talk about transcendental meditation. Right? And then 2 weeks from now, join us here. And please get in touch with Taryn, and yeah, she's got a lot of wisdom to share with you all. So thank you from my heart to yours. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Later tonight, we are joined by another wonderful guest to host an evening of free readings on our popular show, Live with Spirit. The show starts from 8 p.m. Tomorrow morning from 11 a.m., Bree Wilson continues with her show, Influencing Your Life. Bree offers her own guidance and advice, while supporting you with everyday situations, past life readings, and future support. Tomorrow night from 8 p.m. we have an evening of free mediumship readings with Bill Hughes and his guest. Our regular fortnightly show, Collective Consciousness, offers our viewers an opportunity to receive messages from their loved ones. Spiritual Psychics TV presents an holistic fair on Saturday the 11th of June, offering the best in spiritual readers and market stalls. Join us from 10 a.m. until 4:30 p.m. Throughout the day there will be many stalls such as natural polished crystals and stones, qualified complementary therapists offering spiritual healing. This exciting day is being held at the Waterlooville Community Centre, with plenty of free parking. A wide range of handmade products including candles, oils, jewelry, naturally organic and vegan soaps, creams, and bath bombs. Not forgetting the kids, we have face painting and a bouncy castle to enjoy all day. For those who are interested in potions, spells, and essentials oils, then we have a stall for you here as well. Maybe you're looking for a reading, be it mediumistic, palm, or tarot. 11 readers are available throughout the day. Refreshments such as drinks and light snacks are being provided by the 1940s Tea Room from Havant. Plenty of free workshops, talks, and a demonstration of mediumship are also planned during the day. For more information, please visit mbs.spiritualpsychicstv.online.